Good evening, friends, and welcome to yet another very interesting, exciting session on Candid Meena. We have Sureshi once again here with us. Welcome, Sureshi.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. So, coming to the first point, as you know, that there's a huge internal struggle in the Karnataka Congress party, and DK Shivakumar doesn't know when he will get the CM post, the CM chair, if at all. He's anxiously been waiting for 2.5 years. There are a handful of MLAs supporting, him being the next CM of Karnataka. So Karge said that he is going to discuss with Sonia and Rahul Gandhi, and he will, sort this issue out. So what is exactly going on?
Well, I wish I had known what is going on, and I would be that would be $1 million for me. The problem is very simple, Jaydev. There was a gentleman's agreement which we are not aware of, but according to Shiv Kumar, there was an agreement that 2.5 years of the present government's rule would be Siddaramaya, followed by the next 2.5 years would be DK Shiv Kumar. I believe that is where they shook hands and agreed to the deal when the government is formed. But as we know, things don't work out in politics like that. Uh, there's never a gentleman's agreement in politics, as much as there is never a friendly contest that we saw in Bihar, because everything is in politics is in gray, not in black or white. So we don't know whether Shiv Kumar was promised, under what grounds was he promised, all that kind of stuff. But what we know for sure is at the end of it, he hasn't got what he was promised. He has delivered more than he was asked for, which is basically the funding for the party. One, he is rich himself, his family is rich. Plus, he's been the main fundraising because there are two ATMs for Congress right now in the country. One ATM works out of Telangana, where Revant Reddy is in charge. The second one is out of Karnataka, where DK Shivkumar is in charge. So it's not the chief minister who's raising money, but it is DK Shivkumar who's raising money for the Congress party for its campaigns. The rest of the states, they are in opposition or they are in alliance in place like Jharkhand. So there's not much of money to be had. So DK Shivkumar knows that since the Bihar election results came out, the party, so-called party high command, and especially the Nehru family, is in deep trouble. They must still put on a very, very very, very brave face and say, we didn't lose the election. The election commission robbed us of the election. That is the usual cry they have after losing every other election. But we all know why that happened, what that is all about. And that is where the entire fun comes down to, or where it boils down to. DK Shivkumar is biding for his time. He knows that since the Bihar elections, they cannot say no to him because there's only two, or rather three state governments they have. One is a very, very small one, Himachal Pradesh. But the two major ones, as I said, one is Telangana and other is Karnataka. Telangana, they won't disturb Revant Reddy for now, but Karnataka is an even game. Anything can happen. Where DK Shivkumar comes in is, of course, the part that he also comes from a dominant community, that the Vakaligas, and then naturally these two communities, the Vakaligas and Lingayats, have been ruling Karnataka one after another or one after another alternatively, whichever way you want to look at it. Ever since Yediyurappa moved out of BJP, set up his own party, then came back to BJP and set up the government, but BJP has also not been able to find a leader of his stature, or at least somebody who can lead the party. And that is another tragedy of it. So even if DK Shivkumar walks out of Congress tomorrow, hypothetically, what will he go into? He will have to ask BJP to support him from outside. And that is the only way that he can come to power. Because DK Shivkumar coming out of Congress is a big blow for Congress. At the same time, Rahul Gandhi or Sonia would not like that to happen. So they will make Siddaramaya a Balika Bakra, as we call it in Hindi. And then he would be told that, you will be elevated to the central, this one, committee or whatever you want to call it. You will be the grandfather of it all, kind of stuff. You will be in charge of the West Bengal or Assam elections, or we will be in charge of the UP elections that is going to come next year, 2027. Or down south, Tamil Nadu and Kerala, you look after it, and that kind of stuff. So, but Siddaramaya is not a campaign man. He can't speak Hindi. He can't speak any of the local languages except Kannada. So DK Shivkumar is not like, he's most savvy. He speaks very well. He knows that he can put his point across. And for the mess that Bangalore is finding today itself, or rather Bengaluru is finding itself today, there is only one option, because the Karnataka contractors say that there's huge corruption in the state. This was one of the main points which Congress hung on to when BJP was in power, to say that the 40% commission or whatever was there, that was what was hanging against the BJP government. And the corruption. Now the same thing hangs around Congress's neck, and the state doesn't have much money. Siddaramaiah never tried to build bridges across. He was provoked, or rather, he within the party or within the cabinet, there have been people like loose cannons like Priyank Kharge, who has been coming and going, and that is where the entire problem is all about. So Siddaramaiah now needs to find out a way out for himself, or rather, the party needs to find a way out for him, which is an honorable discharge, which is basically saying, okay, you take a VRS and go away, we'll give you pension kind of stuff. So I guess that is what will happen at the end of it. But whether the party will wait till the West Bengal election, which they have no stake at all, they got 0 seats last time, they're going to get 0 seats this time. Assam also, there's no hope in hell for them. The only state where they have some kind of pull or effect is going to be Kerala, where the local body elections are coming up now. If the party performs well in that, maybe the party can breathe a bit easy. But I think it's taken for granted that Shiv Kumar will do something. What he does, what the Congress High Command does, God only knows, because the Congress High Command itself is a losing party, because Rahul Gandhi has lost almost 95 elections till now, wherever the elections were held, and he's got 5 more to go before he scores a century. So I guess to look good on the positive side, to give Bangalore that fillip that is needed. Today we saw India's biggest LEAP engine project being inaugurated by Safran in Hyderabad, which Prime Minister Modi virtually inaugurated. We're going to see something similar happening in project going to Andhra. We no point in crying saying that Gujarat is taking it away or Assam is taking it away. They're bribing the companies. Boss, if your traffic is good, if your infrastructure is good, if the level of corruption is less, then you have a good chance to kind of make up for all that. But Bengaluru has been going from one thing to another, and today it's, I think, infrastructure-wise, image-wise, the city has taken a beating. The city has been built by entrepreneurs. I mean, you name everything from Narayan Murthy to Kiran Mazumdar Shaw to Azim Premji. These are people who built Bangalore from the early days. And what do we have today? They are being hounded for asking questions. They're being trolled. And sooner or later, they have all realized that, it is safe to put eggs in different baskets. So people are now branching out to other cities and other states where they get good encouragement and positive news. And that is what is the main thing. I think DK Shiv Kumar will take a drastic decision, or rather, the party will take a drastic decision for him. Siddaramaiah is expendable. He is not a superstar. So he can go. That's it.
Yeah. So what is Amit Shah will be closely watching this whole tamasha on the sidelines, right?
I think
Like,
he says that let them commit suicide. That's the ideal point of it, because right now priority for Amit Shah is not Karnataka. Right now, all the priority is in Bengal. They want to seize the state. I mean, the state, come what may. The way they have divided the entire state into 6 units in West Bengal, allocated loyal party workers, quote unquote, RSS full-time pracharaks into this, or rather full-time people from RSS who have been deputed to BJP now have been deputed to West Bengal. And those people who have proved to be winners in the past, having done different elections, are now taking care of West Bengal. So I guess the party's entire kind of attention is now focused on West Bengal. And, they'll say, let the Karnataka Congress commit a harakiri. We will not be a party to it right now.
oh, okay. And now coming to West Bengal, as you said, that Mamta Banerjee, the whole SIR exercise is giving her nightmares, and she is doing everything in her power to sort of prevent this SIR exercise from happening. So we see this whole tamasha being unfolded, and next year the West Bengal election is coming. So, before the West Bengal election, there should be law and order in which people can go out and vote in West Bengal without being threatened or by anyone. So now BJP has to plan their moves before the West Bengal election, isn't it?
Yeah, true. I mean, that's exactly what they are doing. I mean, they're quick off the start. I mean, imagine Congress is still debating on vote chori and Ramlila Maidan rally and all that. And BJP has gone ahead and appointed its regional conveners or regional in charges for each part of the state. That's exactly why this huge machine called BJP election machinery works, which even BJP's detractors like Rajdeep Sardesai have admitted in the past that you cannot take on the BJP election machinery. It is just too powerful. The methodical way which they go about right down to the booth level is something that other parties needs to learn from, and especially Congress needs to learn from. Look at the way what is Congress doing right now. They are nowhere in West Bengal because they know last time they got 0 seats with the CPM in alliance. In Kerala, they are fighting against each other like cats and dogs. Whereas in West Bengal, they're holding the flags together and walking along exactly to get a 0 seats again. The CPM has no hope in hell. Same with the Congress there. But look at the BJP's strategy. Okay, SIR aside, the way Bangladeshis are running toward the border, people don't realize why this is happening. There was a front page story today in many newspapers about Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma tabling the reports, two reports of the Nelly massacre that took place in 1983. That is a big story which people have forgotten. I don't know how many in this present generation even know that a massacre in which 4,000 people were killed took place in a place called Nelly in Assam. And most of them slaughtered were Bangladeshi Muslims. A few Hindus also got killed. They were killed by tribes of Assam, a specific tribe of Assam, who felt that their land and, of course, their rights are being taken away. Their women are being harassed. Now, put two and two together, connect the dots, and bring it to West Bengal. Why are the Bangladeshis fleeing? They're not fleeing because of SIR. They know that they can just move to, say, Telangana and they'll be safe, or they move to Karnataka, they'll be even safer. The governments there will protect them. But they're not going to those states because they'll stick out like sore thumbs when they start speaking Bengali in Karnataka because they'll get beaten up, or even Maharashtra for that matter. But they will not get deported because there's a huge chance. In fact, we have a Rohingya football team in Hyderabad, by the way, if you're not aware of it. And that is how the roots have strengthened in the Congress ruled states. So, long story short, what has happened is that in Delhi, the massacre which killed over 4,000 people were killed. Two reports which were hidden by the Congress party. One was an official report, one was an unofficial report. Both have been tabled on the floor of the assembly by Himanta Biswa Sharma. 43 years after this massacre took place, which is said to be the most blood curdling massacre after the Second World War. We can even write off Rwanda massacre, nothing in terms of what happened in Delhi. Happened during Indira Gandhi's time when Hiteshwar Saikia was the chief minister of Assam. Now, why I'm bringing the story into West Bengal is to understand the context, Jaydev, that why Mamta Banerjee is panicking. She is scared that the Bengalis will rise up against the Islamist, which never has happened till now. If BJP is able to provoke, if I'm using the right word, then the Bengalis will say, boss, you're sitting on my land, you're eating my food, you're eating my rice, you're eating my rations, you're taking my Lakshmi Bhandar, you're taking everything. Please get out from here. Luckily, West Bengal doesn't have that many tribes. But now I'll tell you pure numbers. In the last election, Trinamool Congress got, I think, around 2.9 crore, that is 2 crore 90 lakh votes. BJP got 2 crore 20 lakh votes. The difference is around 70 lakh votes. Now go back to Bihar. 64 lakhs went out of the window through the SIR. And what happened? BJP, JDU won a landslide because the fake voters were all out of the system. The same fake voters which RJD was using, which is why it was opposing it tooth and nail, and even Congress was opposing it. Why will you panic if your voter base is not going to be impacted? You will not. You will relax. You'll say, fine, we will live with it. Even Owaisi, if you see that, when he came to campaign in Bihar, he was attacking RJD in their territory. He never spoke about SIR. He never spoke about voters being missing from the list because he knew that his voters were there in Kishanganj and other areas, and that is where he got the votes, the Semanchal areas. Now, the same thing, put two and two together, and if BJP, according to the most scientific of studies that I've seen, very, very scientific, down to the micro level, a comparison between 2002 SIR rolls of West Bengal and the 2024 rolls of West Bengal, which is the last Lok Sabha election, there are 1.04 crore excess voters in West Bengal. Just last week, the UIDAI deactivated 34 lakh Aadhaar cards in West Bengal. I'm sure you've read that. These are dead people. And they deactivated it. Why? Because these cards were being used by somebody. People are dead and gone, but somebody was using those Aadhaar cards. So they deactivated it because somebody has gone and taken a SIM card, somebody has gone and taken something else, somebody has used it for rations. Somewhere along the way, they realized that these dead people, as per the records of the West Bengal government themselves, need to be removed from the rolls. So they removed them and they are gone. 34 lakhs gone there. Yesterday and today morning, the latest report says 17 lakh forms could not be delivered in West Bengal because those people don't exist. They are not there in the addresses where they claim to be. And they voted in the last election. They are out. Put 34 plus 17, and you have close to 50 lakh people who are already out of the system. Let the forms which have been digitized be entered into the system, and you will see another 30 to 40 lakh people go out of the window because duplicate voters will go, dead voters taken into account, permanently migrated is going to be questioned. My West Bengal has bigger migration than Bihar. Bihar has temporary migration. West Bengal, the youngsters have fled for their lives after the CPM red rule and now the Mamta Banerjee red rule. There's no development in West Bengal. There might be a project here or a project there, but we all know this was the place which was the capital of the British Empire at one time. And it was also home to huge conglomerate from ITC to Dunlop to you name it, to the Dalmias and everybody. Today, West Bengal is an old age home, especially Kolkata. It's a state where infiltrators are having a field day. It is where one party thinks that they can rule no matter what because they have the vote bank in the pocket, which is why Mamta Banerjee is panicking. Today, also, the Supreme Court said nothing doing. The SIR will go ahead as it is. And by 4th of December, it'll all be done and dust. And we know what happened in Bihar. The Supreme Court did not interfere in the election process. They said what was done was done. 64 lakh people are removed. You can file your objections, but none of them filed their objections. Yes, for about 1,000 people. So Mamta Banerjee's panic is understandable. She is panicked if this 60 to 70 to 80 lakh people are removed from the rolls, then her constituency is in danger. What I meant by constituency is her party is in danger. And that is where Mamta Banerjee is panicking, Jaydev. And she has a right reason to panic. Because once, even if she comes down from 215 seats to something like 140, and BJP manages to cobble up some similar number from 65, which they have now, 77 originally, which they won last time, it's going to be a game on. And Kebo, whatever I want to call it, that she wants to play a game, and I think the BJP is realized the way they appointed party functionaries, senior party functionaries from different states to go through and manage the entire poll. I think all that is left now is to ensure that the right candidates are selected, as was done in Bihar and Haryana. And I think BJP is on a game then in West Bengal.
Yeah. So another point, Sureshji, is that in the Bihar election, a large chunk of the votes that NDA won is women voters, the female voters in Bihar. They voted for NDA, and I think the same thing is going to happen in West Bengal as well because you saw the kind of violence against women. A female doctor
I
was
mean, see,
gang
the end
raped.
of the day, Jaydev, it's very, very simple. Mamta Banerjee knows that she also has the Lakshmi Bhandar scheme and all that schemes for women. But remember, Bihar, it is not just because of the 10,000 rupees that were given to women to start a small setup that tilted the scales in favor of the NDA combined. It was a fact that Nitish Kumar has managed to improve whatever said and done, the jungle Raj that was there in Bihar, because he had given a stable government in a sense that was able to rein in a lot of the Bahubalis with a prodding from Amit Shah that these guys need to be reined in. And they were actually. Women could go out and watch movies. I have my friends whose daughters are now going out for movies at 9 and 10 o'clock in the night, late night shows in many. That is a question which we all have is what is it that Nitish did it right that got him the votes for the NDA combined? And we need to understand how that works. And that is how the entire thing is happening. So let us assume that Mamta Banerjee gives in another 10,000 rupees before the elections, which is every entitled to everything. I mean, it's a fair game, you know. Modi can come up with something similar and say, from a national level, I'll give you this. Because we saw that same kind of populism in Madhya Pradesh with Shivraj Singh Chauhan. We saw the same thing in Maharashtra where the elections are delayed a bit, so they got that window of opportunity to give some money to the women. But let me tell you, it is not just the money that women playing. I think we are demeaning women of Bihar. We kind of insulting their intelligence by saying that they voted only for money. Remember, these were the women who got cycles 20 years ago from Nitish Kumar government, then Nitish Kumar government. And when they've grown up, they got married, now they have kids, but they still remember that cycle. They remember what Nitish Kumar did for them then, add the law and order to it, add the promise of getting more money to start small units, which is what Bihar needs. Bihar doesn't have the capacity right now to immediately get in big companies there till the law and order stabilizes. Till there is the state government can give a guarantee that women can walk around even at 12 midnight and nothing will happen to them. Which is why you're seeing one very important thing in Bihar. The Home Ministry, for the first time, is with BJP. And Amit Shah is assumed direct control there, and he will ensure, and as he did just at the election time, lock up a couple of Bahubalis inside. And as UP did, clean up the encounters with encounters, and then you will have a stable regime. Mamta Banerjee, yes, can play with the women folk of Bengal, but I'm sure when you look at the last time's figures itself, the BJP needs to ensure that the Mota community, which is now on the sidelines, not being given the citizenship, should be given citizenship this time. They have voting rights but no citizenship. They need to be given citizenship under CAA. And once that community gets that citizenship, they will not ditch BJP like they did in the 2024 elections, where BJP was literally brought down to its knees in Bengal. It's not just UP that reduced BJP's tally to 240, it was also Bengal. So that is where Amit Shah and his team need to play it right. You should expect that your enemy will do well, the enemy will put in money, splurge money, but you need to also ensure that your game is also up for it. And that is where the entire thing is going to boil down to. It's a competition, not for populism, but the competition to prove that women need to be up the ladder when it comes to development. But unlike Bihar, Jaydev, there is a problem here. Bihar's large population of migration, which as per the 2011 census was 72 lakhs, must have topped up around 1 crore by the time this election here happened a month ago. That kind of figures don't exist in Bengal. Bengal is also, yes, a large amount of Bengalis go out of Bengal, but it is not Bengalis technically. It is more of Bangladeshis who go out and work in other cities like Hyderabad. For example, we had, according to the local police reports we had before the Bihar elections, there were close to 12 to 17 lakh Biharis working in Hyderabad. We don't have an exact number fixed on the number, but that is the kind of number we are talking of. I guess Bengalis also would be something similar. The question is only how much of actual Bengalis and how much of Bangladeshis. And that is going to be a crucial factor because if the men don't return in time to vote, then we'll see something like what happened in Bihar, where women outnumbered men in voting. And if there is a higher percentage of voting because a number of fake voters are weeded out, then it's going to be a very, very interesting game in West Bengal. And as we saw in Bihar, those seats where the largest number of deletions took place was not won by BJP alone, unlike the Times of India report, which claimed that 4 out of 5 seats BJP won. No, sorry. If you look at the data produced by Hindu, no less than Hindu, which we all know is a Communist Party owned newspaper, the Chinese Communist Party, they put out a very good scientific study done by a gentleman, I forget his name, but that showed that BJP and JDU and RJD have all got benefited from higher number of voters being deleted, not just BJP. And that is a big, big lesson in this. Because if you're going to remove the fake voters, if you're going to remove the duplicate voters, and if you're going to remove the migrated voter, and if you're going to remove the Bangladeshis, the voting percentage will go up automatically. Statistical possibility, that is. Or 100, you remove 20 people, then the voting is taking place only for 80 people, among the 80 people. And naturally, what would have been last time at 55% or 58% would go up by 6 to 7%. And that would be a good voting percentage. I'm surprised that none of the media took up this thing, that in Bihar the voting percentage increased because the number of voters got deleted. But at the same time, the voting went up by 80 lakhs in Bihar. 80 lakhs. 80 lakh people voted more, of which 34 lakh were new voters, first-time voters. Obviously, there is somebody in the 50 lakh system who came out and voted who didn't vote last time. If people can be prodded and bought to the booths, which is what BJP is really good at, the booth management part of it, as Amit Shah ji says, then I guess it's going to be a very, very interesting contest in West Bengal.
Yeah, so coming to the last point, Suresh, is that Bangladesh's Awami League Party has announced a nationwide protest until November 30th. Do you see the Mohammad Yunus government, maybe falling anytime soon in the future?
No, Mohammad Yunus is not propped up by Mohammad Yunus. He's propped up by the United States, which wants to see a regime there so that they can use the Bengal region, the Bay of Bengal region, to monitor the Chinese ships and Chinese activity in the South China Sea and the Malacca Straits. They can also use Bangladesh to keep a watch on Chinese Tibet area just above Arunachal Pradesh, so that that can also be a listening post. For all you know, there is already a few bases of US aircraft, a few US aircraft, including reconnaissance planes, sitting in Bangladesh. There is possibility. And that is what is happening in Bangladesh. I don't think Yunus government will go anywhere anytime soon, because they need to be there for the US. The US is pumping in money, big time. The US is putting in their military personnel there. And if Yunus government needs to go, it is not just the Awami League which will have to protest, but other political parties also. Because they don't see a hope in hell for elections to be held there in Bangladesh. And that is what the entire thing. Their economy is not in great shape, but the money they're getting from the US through funding organizations is keeping them afloat. But beyond it, well, your guess is as good as mine is he will be there till possibly the end of next year. By the time something can happen, either there'll be a new civilian government in rule or the army will take over. It all depends on the ground situation then. If students are provoked again, they come on the streets, something else will happen. And as we have seen before, if the riotous crowd of Jamaat-e-Islami crowd comes onto the street, and then it will be a free for all. Because Sheikh Hasina's death sentence is not taken seriously by anybody. I mean, we have seen worse dictators in this world who are walking around free. Sheikh Hasina, yes, was a dictator in all senses, but because that country needed a dictatorship at that point in time. But her extradition from India is highly unlikely, because the extradition treaty with India clearly says that extradition cannot be used for cases involving political cases. And that is what is Sheikh Hasina's trial all about. There was no defense given to her. There was no chance of her defending herself. But it is a kind of a kangaroo court that tried her and gave her a death sentence. So India need not send her back. India will not send her back. At the same time, the NSA of Bangladesh was in Delhi, as you know, a week ago. And everybody can guess why he came here. Because he also knows that India can play a game which is kind of very, very dirty if Bangladesh try to play a game. We are no less now. We are not the Mahatma Gandhi ka generation. Somebody slaps one cheek, showing the other cheek, sorry, if you slap me, I'll box your face. That is the kind of India we have today. The Naya Bharat, ghar mein ghus ke marenge wala.
Yeah, I do have to, say that going forward, the intelligence has to work overtime, because we had Delhi blast and all this Alfala
Yeah, that,
University
yeah,
findings and the GPS spoofing in the Delhi airport. So going ahead, all these activities, the intelligence has to get it right all the time, right? That's the challenge.
yeah, that's true. See, the Jaydev, at the end of the day, it's very simple. We are Israel of Asia. We have surrounded by hostile neighbors. We have a threat omnipresent all the time. We have to be on our feet. Unfortunately, unlike Israel, where even the people of Israel, even though they protest against the government for various things, when it comes to an external threat, they all stand together, even the opposition parties. They are in the war cabinet. But in our country, our so called leader of opposition calls this a dead economy, calls this government ineffective, goes about on his same old song of vote chori, which nobody's bothered now, and then tries to demean our prime minister. That is a tragedy of this country. But fortunately, for people of India, nobody takes him seriously. And unfortunately for Rahul Gandhi, that's the end of the story for him because he is BJP's biggest vote catcher. And everybody knows that.
Yeah. So Suresh, that was a wonderful session, and we will see you again next week.
Sure.
Thanks for coming. Until then, Jai Hind and Jai Shri Ram.